Hi, how are you? Have you ever been paid to be hate crimed? Well, I have, so let me tell you about
Oh,
it. Okay, so yesterday I was at work serving this family that was sitting there like the three wise men. And then all of a sudden, out of the mom's mouth, I hear the trigger words non binary and gender fluid. Oop! And quit is in session, and my ears are turned on. Let's do this. So basically, the mom was trying to explain to the dad what it meant to be non binary or gender fluid. After a few minutes go by, the dad responds in the same way that every guy that looks like him would and says, I understand where they're coming from, but if you're biologically a male or a female, that's what you are. And then I'm standing there
based.
on display. So after a little bit of time, I march up to my colleague like I'm about to tattletale on a kid that just stole my toys. And she's like, yeah, I hate to tell you, the entire time they have been referring to you as he or him. Great. So that adds a little bit of insult to injury. And before you ask, no, they didn't tip well. Anyway, thank you.
Babe, is the hate crime in the room with us right now? Because I just listened to your whole little rant. I listened to you popping off, and the part where a hate crime happened, my ears must have slipped off. My attention must have dropped for that minute. Maybe I'll watch it back and I'll check. Nope. Still no hate crime. I mean, this is so offensive to falsely claim to have been the victim of a hate crime at work when you eavesdropped on people basically who didn't even say anything to you and then got upset by words that were said about you and your imaginary identity. That is not a hate crime. And that is so deeply insulting to suggest otherwise to the actual victims of hate crimes, people who've had the crap beat out of them while slurs are hurled at them, gay people who've been brutalized just because of who they are or who they love, or black people or minorities who've been attacked by actual vicious racists in violent ways, who've had their stores vandalized and spray painted with slurs. Oh, you heard words that hurt your fifis at work. Get a grip. Oh my gosh, that is ridiculous and offensive and just really, really reprehensible to go claim that. And look, they're allowed to have an opinion on non binary and think that it's not legitimate. It's a free country. They can think that. They can say it. They weren't rude to you. You went and eavesdropped on them and then got mad about what you heard. And that's kind of your own fault. They didn't say anything disrespectful to you. It doesn't sound like it, at least. And I'm sorry they didn't tip well, but maybe you weren't giving the best service, if I had to guess. I mean, some people really do just want to be victims. I mean, that mentality is so clear from this video, and I just can't relate to it at all. I just have no respect for that approach of actually wanting to be victimized, so much so that you would lie and steal valor or steal sympathy from real victims of hate crime to come on the internet and say you were hate crimed at work when you literally weren't. And also, how did you think this was going to go for you? Did you think people were going to hear this story and come out of it thinking that you were the good guy? Because I didn't. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm just cynical. Maybe I'm cold hearted. I have no heart. Y'all have to let me know in the comments. But like, I lost sympathy for you listening to this video. I really did. This person is a female. So it's actually funny because I think these people were even confused about the sex of this individual and thought this was a male person. This person, to me at least, is clearly a female. And what I will say is this is a free country. You are free to identify as non binary and call yourself whatever you like. And I will defend to the death your right to say that, even though I think it's nonsensical. I think it's incoherent. I think it relies on faulty sex stereotypes and gender roles that are outdated and actually kind of sexist. I'll defend your right to say it and call yourself whatever you like, but you do not have a right to force other people to go along with it and buy into it, because the freedom that protects your right to call yourself non-binary, call yourself they, them, also protects their freedom to not call you that. And they don't have to. And by choosing to not do so, they are not brutalizing you or committing any sort of crime against you, let alone a hate crime. In fact, if you were really secure in your identity, you wouldn't be desperate for the validation of strangers. And the fact that you are clearly so desperate suggests to me that you might actually know in your heart that non-binary isn't a real or legitimate concept and isn't actually coherent. What do you guys think? Did you actually feel sympathetic for this woman? Or like me, do you think she's basically doing cultural appropriation for hate crimes and insulting actual victims? Let me know in the comments, and do hit that like button to reward my suffering, because Gosh, I definitely just lost some serious brain cells from listening to that.